Thank you. Welcome everybody, welcome to 4 p.m. Hello, people sitting down and people who are up there and couldn't get a seat. Thank you. Hello, now you got a drink. There's a bar just over here under the stairs. I suggest you have a glass of wine because we sound better with a drink. And actually, if enough of you get a drink, there is a drinking game, which is really fun. I don't want to try to encourage drinking. I just make a percentage off but no, I don't. Welcome to 4 p.m. If you read the little O device about what's happening here, you're expecting to hear some new music, and that's what you're about to hear. I often get asked, what time of the day does the ensemble, who I will introduce in a moment, what time do they get to hear the piece that I've written today? And the answer is now. They haven't seen it yet. We've not rehearsed in secret. That's what we're going to do in front of you. And this is what happens here at 4 p.m. each time. And this happens every day and has done now for 529 days. It's always the same, pretty much always the same set of instruments. It's a string quartet, but the musicians change a lot. And so we're now going to start to work through the piece. It's a quickish piece, which means it's probably short because it takes a lot of time to write all those quick rhythms. And then if we get through we'll get through today's, and then we'll play last Monday's as well, just for a bit of contrast. And as we do that, let's have a conversation, if you like, if you have any questions. Because as much as I have written music, and as much as you're about to hear music, 4 p.m. is about, not just about music, it's about process, the art of process and creativity, and the time it takes to make something, and just showing up to your process as often as you can, because it's fun to do that. So would you please welcome the kings and the queens of process, the ensemble for today, Miranda, Dan, Janet and Annie. If there's any nerds who want to look through today's score on a paper copy, you can do that. You can't take it home, because I have men in black who will follow you home, but do that. In the meantime, let's have a look at Friday. So, my ideal to me is but let's stop it a bit slow, go a bit slow to start with. Okay, 4 flats, here we go. I don't know what a
and then a D natural in the first bar, though.
And a D natural in the first bar, and it kind of starts in F. Yeah, sorry. But I wasn't going to... Yeah, I know. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's sight reading. They're stupid talented and very clever. Sight reading, very good. Wow. Very good, wow. Right, that's pretty much the theme of the thing, apart from the little, it's like a ternary form. At D it changes a bit.
Straight away a bit faster? I'll
Yep.
give it a go.
Yep.
Okay. So what's the tempo you want? Sorry, that 3/4 bar, I spent so long going, should I keep that in? Like, yeah, fuck them. I'll keep it in. Yeah, sorry. Right, yeah.
Sorry, that was rude. Just one note, at bar 2 before A, second viola cello, have that scoopy into the minimum. Make a meal out of that. Real short on beat 1. Nice little multi vibrato, and that happens again later on, I think. Now, as we're playing, we're talking about rehearsal cues, but if you don't know what we're talking about, please ask. If you want to know anything about, what it's like to play. Who knows how heavy a cello is? Anybody know? Do you know? No idea. Okay, bad example. If you want to ask any questions, please do.
Maybe if we go from like bar 14 or something?
14. Yep.
Bar 14.
It's a 4/4 bar?
14?
14?
14. So it's a 4/4
4 before,
bar
4 before B. Yep.
Three.
Hold there. When we get from this section between D and F, when you get a minimum long note, really kind of try and make the meal out of it being a long feel, like yeah, really long, big broad stroke. Because we've got the short
really
above
turn
you,
you to.
and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got short, long, but then like so fourth of D you have the breve, so give it a nice big long bow underneath. Can we go from D again, please?
Yep. Should we try it slightly under and then we've got
Okay.
somewhere to go?
Sure.
3, 4.
Good, and at G, first is out, just holding a long note on second, and viola on second, and cello are still chunking away. Can I ask a favour? I'm going to change something here. The 3 bars up to E, where we're just playing that F, can you just hold just a dotted minimum for each of those bars? So 1, D, 3, D, E. I'll change those notes. I think I want that long feel for that lot for all that
That'd
time.
be good for pulse as well. Or hook onto
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Right. Any problems, questions?
Pretty good. It's hard. I think I counted right between E and F, but I'm not
E and F.
entirely sure.
Yeah.
Because it's goes
I'm
from
not sure
3 to
either.
4 and that's it's hard.
Do you want to go again from figure D?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions before we go on? Has anybody got anything? Someone's got the score down here. Someone's nerding out. That's great. That's good. Oh, okay. People got a drinks. Not many drinks today.
Do you
Can't
guys
play the
for
drinking
my
game. Let's go.
benefit mind just this time accenting the second bar of E.
What do I?
Just so I get a 1.
What do I find hardest to compose for? Well, the viola has its own weird clef. So there's like treble clef in the violins, bass clef in the cello, and this kind of little fucking sit in the middle shitty alto clef in which tries to like hedge its bets and be, I'm not this or this, I'm in the middle. I'm like, oh fucking. Anyway, and it's as weird as Janet's viola looks. Yeah, no, she left it on the parcel shelf in the car and it got hot. So essentially, it's like I have to kind of remember what note the line goes on. So technically, I'm able to do this all the time. I don't know really. I'm used to them all now because it's 4 every day. In order to increase my challenge, it's always the same 4 instruments. So I'm getting quite familiar with having them all in conversation all the time, I suppose. The hardest thing for them is to try and have them all in their own separate region, so they all sound and all have their own job to do. Yes. do I write it all and go back and edit? That's actually a good question, I think, because I'll answer it with a question. How many people have, let's say, sketchbooks with, the first 3 pages with sketches on it, and the rest of the book you haven't. It's called empty pages. Yeah, notebooks with the first 5 pages and then nothing after that. How many people have started writing a story and never finished it? How many have written the first 2 sentences and go, oh, and then you run out of puff to finish it? We've got lots and lots of ideas that fill our drawers, and eventually they fill a garage. Eventually they fill a storage container, all these things that you don't finish. And I think I did some teaching, and I'm a dad, so if I go back to my own creative efforts and then watching young people do it, I became really overwhelmed by that kind of first sentence on once upon a time there was blah, blah, blah. And then before you go to sentence 2, you go back and you're already correcting your first sentence. Oh, that could be better, which is a terrible idea, because most people go, oh, that's terrible. As opposed to filling 10 pages of slop and then going back and fixing it, because you mightn't find what you're writing about until page 8. And the same here. I have to write 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes after lunch, and before I go, right, got to go back and fix it now. I've just got to throw notes at the page. I think that's a really important thing for people who say they get stuck, or they have this writer's block thing, but they start to judge their work really early, but you can't. You just got to just keep writing and writing and writing and make lots of mistakes. The late Ken Robinson said, if you're afraid to make mistakes, you'll never come up with anything original. If you're afraid to make mistakes. So if it's just you with a notepad, who gives a shit? Just write lots of slop. It's a bit weird for me because you can all see me write my slop. Well, that's what I signed up for, but essentially, yeah. Go all the way through as far as you can before you correct yourself. All right. And it still doesn't promise you doing anything good, but that's the point. Let's go from D again.
A bit slower. 2, 3, 4. Can we just, sorry, I don't know if I came in wrong. Yes, no, let's go from E.
E. Mm-hmm. Yep.
3, 4.
That's the last bar. Now we're going to make some notes. The reason why we make notes all the time is because Miranda's making a note here about
some Boeings.
Oh, some Boeings. Oh, boring. Most of the time, they like. Cause this is violin 1, violin 2, viola, cello. But I don't give Miranda all the parts. She just sees hers, and violin 2 only sees their part because it would be not feasible for them to look at the whole thing. So they're making notes to see what other people are doing, and other things like that. Yeah. Is the pits okay at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep. It's not going to be too because I've only got 2 notes and mine will just
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. Which bit? Let's do a quick practice, can we please, from I, from letter I.
Yep.
And then we'll just do a bit of I, and then we'll, if any more questions, and then we'll play it all the way through, and we'll play Monday's piece as well. Okay, let's go back to the top. All right. Now we're going to play the piece all the way through. What did I call it? I called it Skip to Friday because today's Mona's Friday. We close tomorrow, so technically our Friday. We get 2 Fridays a week. So there.
If I end up doing something.
Have you got any questions before we give this a go through? Over here. Yeah.
Are we trying to make
I asked if the music's quite evocative of mood. Do I have a mood when I start? Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes. But I can't count on that. Sometimes I write a slow piece because I'm feeling nostalgic or hungover or tired. Some pieces, it's a quick piece because I'm happy, or the other way around. I might be feeling tired and I write a quick piece to try and wake myself up. But if I thought I had to have a mood, I'd be instantly thinking about what that narrative might be, and I'd probably tie myself in knots trying to think about how to start, as opposed to just going blonk, hitting a note on the piano and go, write that down. Hit 2 notes, write 2 notes down, and just follow the notes. So that's what kind of getting the craft together is for me, is just writing down the notes that kind of function like words function, and then the mood kind of reveals itself sometimes, yeah. All right, here we go. Skip to Friday. This is day 529. Let's do it. Thank Miranda, Dan, Janet, Annie. Last Monday's piece was a much slower, more evocative piece. I called it a lament, the Monday's lament. And just to kind of contrast, to show you something different, to your question about what happens each day, is the mood different? The other expectation I think I put on myself, and I like to talk to other creators about as well, is how much you show up, like kind of in the dark without anybody watching, to get your skill together. And even though I'm here all the time, doing this all the time, you know, some days it's like, you know, there was a piece a few days ago, like I hope no one ever hears that again. It's some days and that's normal. It should be like that. And to make peace with yourself when you sort of put that in your pocket and go, oh, that was a bad day, but at least I was there. So if a good melody is going to find me, chances are it'll find me at the piano rather than, you know, in traffic. So showing up is a good thing. And when it does, I can't even explain to you why it works some days. Some days I just go, oh, just get out of bed, come here, whatever. And like a real banger comes and go, wow, I can't judge that. I can't tell you how it worked, why it happened. If I could, I'd sell it. I'd bottle it, but I had no idea. We have a recording studio down the end of the museum, probably seen that. So we go in there and we make these albums of the favourites, of the days that really kind of pop, and they're a ace. But most of the days are just compost for those other days. Here they are. This book is called 150 First Drafts. We don't have time for me to talk to you all at length about what this is about or to discuss creativity. So I thought I'd publish 150 consecutive days of my diary. That's what that book is. So it's 150 days. We'd do the piece like we are now. You'd all go home and then I'd sit and write an entry and then go home. So that's what that book is, as well as some other essays and thoughts on creativity and all of the live music. We have microphones, so everything gets recorded and live streamed and so forth. So you can listen to all of the music through that book as well. So that's a good provocation in terms of the skill. I'll be up in the shop in about 10 minutes to sign one of those if you want. This is last Monday's piece, day 524, and I called it Monday's Lament. I can't remember it now. I've got no idea how it goes. Just Andante. Away we go.
Played it before either, so.
None of you played it before. Excellent.
So I start, do I?
Yes.
And what speed would you like?
It says Andante. I can't remember it, so I'm conducting it. I'll try that. Annie, Janet, Dan, Miranda. Thank you, everybody. I'm Dean Stevenson, and that's 4 p.m. for today and for this Mona Week. Have a lovely week. I'll be in the shop in 10 minutes if you want to chat. See you then. Bye-bye.